What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's the big dog named Austin, and the Colts finally got a win. Yes, the Indianapolis Colts got their first win of the 2024 season against the Chicago Bears, 21-16. The Chicago Bears and the Indianapolis Colts struggled to get any offense going, any points going on the board. They didn't score in the first quarter. There was one touchdown in the second quarter, a 29-yard gallop from Jonathan Taylor. That run looked awesome. I love the way Jonathan Taylor's running the ball right now. He ran the hell out of the ball, 23 carries for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. I bet fantasy owners, myself included, loved his output for the day. That would be it for the first half, 7-0 Indianapolis Colts. Then the Bears would get a field goal in the third quarter, answered by a Trey Sermon touchdown. Anthony Richardson hands the ball off to Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon gets stopped a little short of the goal line, and Anthony Richardson decides to go up right behind him and push him into the end zone along with almost the entire offense of the Indianapolis Colts. So, touchdown. Colts, the touchdown is credited to Trey Sermon, but I would say that was a whole effort by the offensive unit. Taking the score to 14-3 at the end of the third quarter. Then, in the fourth quarter, Rome Odunze would get his first touchdown catch from Caleb Williams, who had his first touchdown pass at the same time. I thought that was pretty cool. They did a little, thing after they got the touchdown that took the score from 14-9. They did go for 2. They didn't get it. And then, big play in the middle of the fourth quarter. Latu came around. Cole Kmet, as great of a game as Cole Kmet had, he got burnt. He got whipped by
I'm going to kick your ass.
By Latu, and he came around with a strip sack, turnover, Colts ball on the 16-yard line. And from then on, because the Colts were only up by 5 at that point, the Colts would then chug along, get down to the 1-yard line, punch it in with JT for his second touchdown of the game to go up 21-9. And then Cole Kmet would make it 21-16. So I would say a good game. You had to win it. You didn't want to go 0-3. You won it. Now you play Pittsburgh. We'll get to that later. Okay, you're 1-2. You are second place in the AFC South because the rest of the AFC South is dog shit.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Okay, the Jaguars are 0-3. The Titans are 0-3. And the Texans, I don't know what the hell happened between the Texans and the Vikings.
Sunday morning, Sunday brunch, Sunday breakfast.
Congratulations to the Vikings. But what I'm focused on is the Indianapolis Colts and how they played. I thought Anthony Richardson was bad. He was 10 of 20 for 167 yards and 2 very bad interceptions. The first interception he threw, the Colts were driving. The Colts were in the red zone, and it was like 3rd and goal, and he rolls out left, and he just throws the ball, and I keep hitting these tongs. He throws the ball in the middle of 3 defenders, and it was just easily picked off. Stops the scoring drive, and the Bears take the ball the other way. I think Caleb Williams would then throw another interception right after that. They traded picks there for a minute. The second pick that Anthony Richardson threw, man, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Terrible.
It looked like he was throwing to the defender. It looked like the defender was the open receiver, and it looked like he was throwing to him. But he wasn't. It was a complete overthrow of Michael Pittman Jr. Michael Pittman Jr. saw it was going to go over his head, and he went to go make the tackle before the ball even, It was a really bad throw. It was an easy pick. There's some miscommunication or some misthrows of Josh Downs and A.D. Mitchell. A.D. Mitchell's playing time went down significantly with the return of Josh Downs. Josh Downs did get 3 catches for 22 yards, but as I mentioned, there's some miscommunication because there was some misthrows between Anthony Richardson and Josh Downs. Man, Anthony Richardson's got to dial it back a little bit because some of these throws he's putting too much mustard on. He's putting a little too much mustard on, and he's overthrowing, and you go 3 and out, and you can't do that. You need to push the ball down the field. There were a couple of plays. There was a big pass play to Alec Pierce. He had 1 catch for 44 yards. There's a big pass play to him that I liked. I think that was actually what transpired prior to the interception in the end zone. The only good aspect of the Indianapolis Colts offense was Jonathan Taylor. As I mentioned, 23 carries, 110 yards, 2 tutties. He had 1 catch for 25 yards. He did have a drop, which the commentator in the broadcast was pretty much saying that it was it was on Jonathan Taylor. And if you remember the play, you know what I'm talking about. Jonathan Taylor, was a bit overthrown, and he had the ball there, and he didn't catch it, and incomplete, 4th down. I thought it was a bad throw by Anthony Richardson. I think you got to put it on Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor isn't a receiving type back, and he's not a receiver. He's not in the receiver's room. He doesn't quite know how to. I'm making excuses for Jonathan Taylor. Ultimately, I guess you got to catch the ball. The ball should have been on him. 50-50, you move on. It sucks. But Jonathan Taylor did have 1 catch for 25 yards for what it's worth. He had a pretty good day. Kylan Granson had 1 catch for 40 yards. He broke loose. This is like one of the only times that a tight end's caught a ball this season. Tight ends have been pretty non-existent this season for the Colts. Michael Pittman Jr. had 4 catches for 36 yards. And as I mentioned, Josh Downs, 3 catches, 22 yards, in his season debut after missing the first 2 games of the season. The biggest bright spot of the Indianapolis Colts entire game was their defense. Now, they did allow 395 total yards. They had 363 passing yards. Not very many rushing yards. So that was the key, is the Bears could not and did not rush on you. 63 total yards between 6 players. That includes Rashawn Johnson. He had 8 carries for 30 yards. DeAndre Swift, 13 carries for 20 yards. Khalil Herbert, 4 carries for 9 yards. And then Caleb Williams, Roman Dunze, and DJ Moore for -6 for a total of 63 rushing yards. The Colts did great. Zaire Franklin, 15 tackles. EJ Speed, 12 tackles. Nick Cross, 10 tackles. And what have I been saying about Nick Cross leading the league in tackles? That means the players are getting to the second level. That's what I've been saying. Now that your linebackers have been getting to tackles, they led the team in tackles in this game against the Bears. That's good. You got pressure on Caleb Williams. Like I said, Laiatu got that strip sack. Kenny Moore got a sack. And also, we actually, 3 out of the 5 top tacklers in the league are on the Colts. So, number 1, Nick Cross with 39 tackles. Number 3, EJ Speed with 34 tackles. And number 4, Zaire Franklin with 33 tackles. 3 of the top 5 players in the NFL who lead in tackles are on the Colts through week 3. Cool.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Kenny Moore also had 8 tackles. So overall, the defense played a lot better. Only allowing 16 points to the Chicago Bears. Wasn't a great. They're not a great offense. Caleb Williams still passed for 363 yards, but he passed the ball 52 times. Okay, Caleb Williams was 32 of 52, 363 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He did run the ball a little bit. He had a couple good scrambles. He juked out Latu. I thought he had a solid day. He definitely needs an offensive line. There is a picture circulating the internet and mostly the Colts Twitter of there was a 4th and goal play in the first or second quarter, where they ran like an speed option to the left, and you just see the entire offensive line just get blown by the entire defensive line of the Colts, and it's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. The Bears need Caleb Williams needs an offensive line. And whatever, C.J. Stroud said to him last week that he didn't want to listen to, he needs to listen to that. He needs to not take the hits, because he took a few hits in this game too. Something that also plagues us as a team through the 3 weeks of the season is the time of possession. Okay, we have been getting dominated in time of possession in the first 3 weeks. The Bears had 35 minutes and 1 second to our 24 minutes and 59 seconds time of possession. We had 54 plays ran to their 84. There's a big discrepancy in our opponents and our plays. We aren't possessing the ball very long. And we are scoring for the most part. 21 points. You can call that what you want. We scored against the Texans. Technically speaking, statistically speaking, we have one of the better offenses in the AFC South. Just because the Jaguars and Titans are terrible. The Texans are... They only put up 7 points against the Vikings. So, I guess technically the Colts have the best offense in the AFC South, which is wild to say. Another problem the Colts had, 9 penalties for 78 yards. You got to clean that up. There were some unnecessary penalties throughout the game. But overall, I'm just glad we got the win. This was a game you had to win. You didn't want to go 0-3 because since in the Super Bowl era, only 6 teams have made the playoffs after starting 0-3. And that is not what you want to be. So now you're 1-2. You're in a little bit of better shape. You get a win under your belt. You hope you get some momentum. And now you welcome in Pittsburgh. And they're going to be tough. They're going to be real tough. But I got that video for later. I appreciate you guys watching. The Colts finally get a win.
Finally!
I'm the Big Dog. Please like this video. Comment, Go Colts. Comment, Go Colts. Just comment the words, Go Colts. Go Colts.